Hey guys, welcome back. It's Melody, and Pat, she's really irritated because they changed her cat food. They completely reformulated it and she hates change. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite containers of all time. Throughout my favorites videos, you guys have asked me to tell you what my favorite containers are, but I wanted to get into one whole video just so I could get it all together. So all of this will be linked in the down bar, and we're going to start off with the glass containers, the ones that I use the most, which are these Wean Green containers, and I use 2 of them for teas because I only have 2 teas. If you own a lot more teas, then you want to get one of those containers that has those little compartments for teas, or you can get a tea organizer to go inside of your drawer so it divides your drawer into little tea compartments. But because I only drink 2 or 3 teas at a time, I just like to keep it like this. So it has chamomile and rooibos at the top, and then I have 2 more that I don't keep teas in that I use for avocado or tomatoes. They come with these really bright lids, which I really like because it makes the fridge look glowing. It's very practical. It can go in the oven, it can go in the microwave. So glass containers are ideal. The only bummer about glass is that it's a little bit heavier and you have to be more careful with it. So that's the only drawback to glass. But I also use the blue ones, which are a little bit bigger for leftovers. This isn't going to be a practical size if you have a big family because you're probably going to have more leftovers than this. So I'll get to the other glass containers that I use if you have a bigger family, but I use this for a lot of my leftovers because I only have 1 or 2 servings left, so I have a couple of these for leftovers. When it comes to meal prep, I don't use these, but you can use these. You can use these glass ones, especially if you're looking to reduce plastic, and these glass containers are really great. But the reason why I don't use them for everyday meal prep when I cut my apples and put peanut butter on them is because I like these so much better because they're lightweight, they're easy to pop into the dishwasher, and they're very easy to open. So these are glass locks, so the lid is harder to open, which I am an old person in a young body. Well, my hands, my osteoporosis hands, I'm just kidding. I don't have arthritis or anything like that, but I don't like having to open a lot of things that are harder to open. So this is really seals tight, so it'll keep things fresh. And especially if you're putting anything in here like acids, like tomato sauces and stuff, you want to put it in glass because it's going to leach into the plastic, and you definitely don't want it discoloring the plastic or having a smell, God forbid. This one is so great because it looks so good. I mean, it just looks so good stacked up on top of each other. Someone really designed this and put a lot of thought into it. It looks like architecture, okay? It looks so good in the fridge. And when you take off your, for instance, if you're going to take an apple, you just take from the bottom, and then you don't have to take the lid off because there's only one lid for all of the containers. So the other one acts as a lid for the previous one. So I really like this for meal prep. If you're gonna cut veggies down, or if you're gonna cut down, like I said, fruit and put peanut butter on top of it, or you're gonna prepare your sandwiches or your salads ahead of time, I really like these containers. Now again, if you're going to try to go all glass, then you can just use the Wean Green ones because they're basically the same size. It's just a little bit heavier and also a little bit harder to open, but that's the only downside. The best way is to just have as few containers as possible. It's easy to keep track of things, and it's easy to store things that way. So these, as you can see, also stack onto each other. You can use it similar as the white container, but it's just going to be a little bit heavier. So it's all up to you. The reason why I have these is because I bought these first, and then I found the glass ones. So you don't have to get the plastic ones. It's just whatever your style is. The plastic ones look nicer, but the glass ones are more adaptable and also better for the environment. So I'm sure you guys will like that one better. And then the very next container I have is for leftovers. When I have a lot of leftovers, then I'll put all of the chili or whatever I'm making into a big glass anchor container like this, and it's very sturdy. You can even use this as like a flower pot. I was thinking of doing that, but I already have too many plants, so I'm gonna hold myself back. But you could even do that because it would fit a nice bamboo plant or something really simple. But I just like functional containers that have multi-uses, and this looks really good in the fridge too. Generally speaking, I only keep geometric, or I only keep square or rectangle containers because they stack better. But you know, this just makes sense for me. It just holds a lot, so that's the reason why I like it. It's easier to grab out. Either way, it's going to be heavy because it's glass. My next container is my most used container, and I don't just use it for food. I literally use it, I use it for everything. To store crafts, to store clothes. If you use the KonMari method for folding clothes, then if you don't have a dresser, this is the perfect width. This is the perfect width, so you can put folded clothes in here. It is just the perfect container, but it's a 4-quart, and I use it to store all of my greens. So when I come home from the grocery store, I grab my spinach and I grab my lettuce, I rinse it, I chop it, and I put a little paper towel at the bottom to soak up all the moisture, because it's not specifically made for lettuce. They have those specialty lettuce containers, and basically they have one of those filters at the bottom so that the moisture is draining out. But this works the same way if you just put a paper towel at the bottom, and then I cut my lettuce and my spinach so it's ready to go for the whole week. I can grab it and throw it in smoothies. I can put it on crackers with whatever else I'm putting on top of my soda crackers, and basically it's all ready to go, and it encourages me to eat a lot more veg. When I'm making my green smoothies, I will chop everything up and throw the halves of everything into here for the next green smoothie. It's just really convenient size, and it looks really great in the fridge. So this is my most used container, 4-quart, and it's very affordable because it is plastic. For a container that size, I just don't want to use glass because that's going to be really heavy. And like I said, I'm partially an older person in a younger person's body. I know what you're thinking, Melody, you should be hitting the gym. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to that in, what is it? Is today 2018? Don't worry, I'm gonna get to that in 2019. I got way too many things. I got way too many things on the horizon right now that I gotta get to before I can get to hitting the gym on a regular basis. But for now, we're just gonna have to work with what is. And the very next thing is this container, and I use this the second most. I use this for everything. It is great for my applesauces that you guys saw that I really like. I love putting my applesauces, my ramen noodles, all of my ramen noodles. I have them all lined up, ready to go. The vegan ones from Whole Foods. And then also you can put cookies. You guys know I like those little tiny bags of cookies because I try not to eat that many. And if I get little bags, then I can convince myself, hi Pat, that I'm not eating that many. Pat's here because, like I said, she's looking for food. So if she sees food on the table, she's going to think my salvation has come because my cat food got changed. She's been really angsty. She's been really angsty. I was about to start the video. I just fed her and she was irritated that her food was changed. That she bit me. She bit me on the wrist, and I said, Pat, don't use me as a scapegoat for your problems. Anyway. She's usually very nice. It's just when some people get hungry, then, and Pat's number one thing is food. So when she gets denied food, all heck breaks loose. Anyway, the chocolate chip cookies I really like putting in here. And also I have my yogurts, my soy yogurts in the fridge, all lined up in here looking really nice. If you have a deli compartment in your fridge, you can put all of the deli ingredients into here so it's easy to slide out, and it just keeps everything compact and looking absolutely, oh, this looks so great. It just looks so great, especially if you're going to be putting your fridge on Instagram. Want it to look sparkling. I also use my water container that I've talked about a long time. Water is very important. Drinking a lot of water because you eat a lot less bad food. I use my water container in there, and I also use the water filter. That water filter goes really slowly. I don't recommend it for big families. If you have a bigger family, I'll link a better one below for your family. But for me, since I don't drink that much water, just me, then I can have that and put it in a container, and then that container will have everything that I need for the day on my desk, easy to see. You can also put it in a mason jar, the water, and I use mason jars for almost everything. I got these for really cheap at the craft store, but basically I use it for rose water if I'm going to do a rose water bath, which I have a video coming up on just that, a luxurious rose water bath. And I also put snacks in here, the snacks that you guys don't want to be seeing, but basically snack foods go really well in here. Unfortunately, I cannot get the label off. I do not know who put these labels on. I just feel like a craft store should have really good labels, because what do? You guys have labels, and you guys have lots of them. So get one that can peel off. What in the Sam Hill? These mason jar containers are really great. They also have smaller ones if you don't want to use OxoPop containers. OXO containers. I call them OXO because it's way easier to say. My OXO containers were my very first purchase as a court reporter. I saved up all of my money for my OXO containers and then also for my Vitamix. Those were my two first purchases, which is crazy because I don't cook more than most of you guys probably. I really don't cook all that much. I try to cook as little as possible and just have as many leftovers as possible. Back then I really wanted to make sure my kitchen was outfitted because I knew kitchenware and furniture was going to be the most expensive, and I wasn't wrong. But anyway, these OXO containers are really great and they pop. The only problem is they're not dishwasher safe. So these mason jars are a lot more practical and they're better for the environment. But since I bought them oh my gosh, this smells so good. This smells like cookies. And since I bought it so long ago, I'm just going to keep these OXO containers until they're on their last pop. Until they're on their last pop, and then I will give them to Salvation Army. But a little piece of my soul will die because it's the nostalgia. So these mason jars come in littler sizes, obviously, so you can put your smoothie ingredients if you use powders and everything like that. And I use little containers, little spice jars that you can get from Container Store for my spices, and they don't all fit in there. So what I recommend, I have about 10 spices, and I also have those half sizes for when I make pumpkin pie. But what I really recommend is if you're going to do spice jars is to use your label maker to label them, and to also keep the ones like cumin or chili powder that you use all of the time, and just keep it in its original container. It's not worth it to keep constantly changing it out. It's better if you just use it for the ones that take a while to get through. So I think there's 2 or 3, there's 3 or 4 spices that I use all the time that I'm just not going to transfer out of their main container because it's just too much work. So just use what works. Make sure your kitchen works. Don't just use containers because they're there. Make sure it's really functioning for you. So I hope you guys like this video. It is a very practical and pragmatic video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next Sunday in the next minimalist and organization video.